What makes you who you are, and what defines you? These are the types of questions that have plagued philosophers, psychologists, writers, and many more for thousands of years. When first joining the class myself, although I had my initial opinions, I found myself questioning what I thought I knew along the way. The initial question being, who are you, can be seen through multiple different perspectives and lenses, which for simplicity I've characterized into physics, biological, psychological, sociological, and more personal perspectives such as a look into the self and the soul. Firstly, we can take a look at the physics approach, which I like to personally compare to the dualist approach. When looking at the separation of mind and body, but specifically the body. When talking about a physics style approach of how you perceive the world, I like to use a thought experiment, being that imagine if you were to drop a ball from a specific height. If you were to know the exact calculations of every atom, their velocity, such on and such on, you'd be able to predict exactly where the ball went. You can apply this then on a universal scale. And this forms into an argument of free will, and if we truly ourselves have free will. This approach therefore takes the understanding that what we are and who we are is purely atoms. It is purely the physics style of viewing the world. There is nothing based on personality because there is no free will. This approach of the physics style, while very bleak and often seeming sad to many people, is very comparable to the biological way of viewing things, where we are simply formed from our nature and our genetic code. How we act and how we perceive the world around us, what we are, is purely biological. It is purely animalistic in a way that an ant is an ant, a lion is a lion, a cheetah is a cheetah. Now, while this physics and biological way of viewing the world may be correct, it is more about our own perception, that of our societal and psychological standards. In any given day, if someone is asked, who are they will not respond with a physics or biological response, generally speaking. What will be given is a name, a status of job, wealth, their family, a content of their character being whether they're a good friend, a bad friend, a nice person, a giving person, so on and so forth. Therefore, who we are and what defines us from a societal standpoint is more than just the atoms in our body and the genes that make up what we are. These ideas, such as social status and who we are compared to other people and their perspective on us, is much more a behavioralism style of viewing things. This societal lens is very much based on how we ourselves and others view us within this society, whether it be our job, our socioeconomic class, our culture, our religion, or even the way our friends and families view us. Yet there is still something deeper and more personal. These are very much the psychological lens and the lens of ourself, how we view ourselves and the soul. If you were to ask me personally, what makes you who you are and what defines you, it would, to me, come down to our personality above all. It is how we go about our daily lives, how we think about things, how we perceive things, and ultimately our qualia and what makes us unique compared to anyone else. More than just our physical or genetic code, the atoms that make us up, or our place in society. It is something that transcends all of that. Over the past few weeks in this class, I have really come to learn that Who we are and what defines us is much more based on our perspectives. It is not a singular thing such as a physics perspective, dualism, behavioralism, societal, psychological, biological, but it is everything. While I still personally believe personality has the biggest role, it is everything, every experience we've ever had working in the background to create how we react and how we act and how we change in the future. That is what makes us who we are. Thank you for listening.